Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we are taking a look at yet another Legends of Batman figure. I had told myself when I was going to do this review I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the Legends of Batman figures, but I knew that there were three that I was going to do, and I really wanted to do this one. So we're going to get a third Legends of Batman figure. So some people may think, wow, maybe this is all that Rob has. No, I have tons more, but this is the first and I want to say only time that we have received the Batman Azrael pre-full armor. I know there was a DC Direct line of figures, and I don't know if they made this. I'm sure as soon as I get ready to upload this video, I'll start looking some stuff up online, and I'm going to realize that they did, but normally they do the spiked version, which if we bring my DC-UC Azrael out here, this is the one that generally gets made into an action figure if they do make one. So there's your size comparison for that, and as you can see, I have been talking about them coming pre-posed, and this Azrael Batman is a lot shorter than he should be. So we'll pull him off to the side. Here is the Catwoman from the same line. And, you know, their height scales are actually pretty good, so you can have them on the shelf together. But as you can see, you know, his legs are sculpted as such that he's in this crouched stance. He's got his gun here, as Kenner says, hey, you know, we need a firing mechanism or something to go with these action figures or some gimmick. You get these really oversized gadgets that this does work really well. So if we pull up Bane here, use him as target practice, and there we go. Now I have to duck off camera to pick up the little disc. Here is the disc for the figure. So I leave Bane set up back there, and it just sets into this little rocket arm, goes into position. A rather large piece. It's a nice little gimmick to have, but you can't get this Batman to stand on his own without the stand because his cape is big enough to give him support. But once this goes in, he really wants to topple this way, as this arm is also jetted clear out, which also made it harder for... They had a Batmobile for this line that I did have at one point. I ended up selling. If I wanted this Batman in there, he can get crouched down pretty good in a really good seated position, but this arm was usually always in the way. The cape cloak does come off, so you had to take off the cape to be able to put this Batman in the Batmobile. But like I said, this arm was jetted out as such that you really couldn't do much with it. You just kind of had to get it out of the way the best that you could. Looking at some of the detail here, of course this arm is bent up, so you can't do anything with this arm. I really do like this figure even after all this time. I haven't had this figure out of storage in quite a while, and there was still a good amount of detail done to the figure. You know, you think back, this is 1994. We'll put the cape and piece back on, but you can see even in here they had gone in and put some of the gold that was supposed to be in here. And if we bring up the DC-UC figure, it's kind of a range of comparison. You see the gold in here like it is. Granted, this was like Mach 2 for this particular Azrael Batman. He eventually became this. But you can see in the belts, the gold's the same. Gone as this band here when he went to this suit. Should have been some gold here that they left off, but I can get why Mattel did that, as this was just all one blue piece. So probably rather than paint this, they just left that as it should be. But you could see the face sculpt that we have here, the pre-full metal mask. So this was something really kind of cool to have back in the day. I do like the cape quite a bit. Pardon the dust, as He has been collecting dust for quite a few years now. It's just hard to believe that, you know, this is 1994 that we're talking about, and I mean, Kenner did a very good job in making these figures. Granted, I think if Kenner was doing this figure nowadays, we would be having that, but it'd have been nice if this arm was completely straight up and down. I'd have been totally happy if the legs were straight and it was just a normal standard figure. If I can find him here, something like this, where the arms are straight, legs are straight, and he would have been just standing there. But seeing as how this is one of the first times we had Azrael, you could have recreated with the Batman animated series, Batman there, been just fine. Or having the Batman and Robin Bane, for height and scale wise, these two work very, very well together. As you know, this was the Azrael Batman that did beat up Bane in the end of the Nightfall. So, speaking of Azrael and Nightfall, we will look at the card that came with Knightsend Batman. So you kind of see his rocket launcher and disc, and that was something kind of cool, I guess you could say, that Kenner, in designing their cards, did actually show the actual gimmicked product and how it looked. Of course, it looks a lot smaller for that Batman right there. But, of course, you can read the top on this. This is actually figure 10 in the wave. I didn't do that for Catwoman, although the future Batman was listed as K-1. This is K-10. So we'll read the little write-up here. It says, as Bruce Wayne recovers from critical injury inflicted by arch-rival Bane, he appoints a stand-in as the mysterious new Crusader who takes the mantle of Batman. Continuing the never-ending battle against Gotham City's underworld, Jean-Paul Valley, known as Knightsend Batman, beefs up Batman's persona with mighty arm gauntlets and full headpiece and arsenal torpedo launcher. But only the most keen observer notices the less obvious disturbing changes. A more driven, a less merciful approach to crime fighting. Will Knightsend Batman prove worthy to walk in Batman's shoes? Only time will tell. So I thought that was a very cool write-up, and of course we know that Bruce Wayne did come back as Batman, only to die another 15 years later, and come back again, as everybody does in comics. So, turn this back on here. So again, this will be the last of the Legends of Batman. Was really deciding if I was going to do 2 or 3 for the review for this time. But as what made me really want to do this review, I really do like this figure. And some people are under the impression that the John Blake character in The Dark Knight Rises is going to become the new Batman, and that his codename in the movie might be Azrael. So, will that happen? Will John Blake become Batman? I really hope not. I hope it ends with Bruce Wayne being Batman as he always is supposed to be. But time will tell. We're just a few days away from this movie coming out. So, that's going to do it for this review. Today we've been taking a look at the Legends of Batman, Knightsend Batman from Kenner. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues signing off and saying we will see you guys next time.